Susanna going to do this question, I guess? She's screwed for life.
She's gonna use the flats that we used in God.
Oh, the black one?
Yeah.
Big black one.
Big black.
Hi, Eric.
Give an impression of.
Ben.
Can I eat my pizza now, John?
Go ahead. The night before opening night. The director, a little bit harried.
I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. It's true.
The
Sorry.
star,
Eating.
Eating.
as usual.
Eating.
I'm in bad shape, John.
Film him, he's in bad shape.
What's the matter, Ben? Give it to me straight, guy.
I'm sick.
Actually,
I'm
don't.
weary. I can't go on. do.
Looking out his back. We're gonna get the full 2-shot.
Everything's screwed. Inside that building, part of hell is broken loose.
Well, we're gonna move inward at this point.
Pretty good question, but how do you want me to do makeup? Do you want me to wear pinks or dark colors or what?
Oh, you gonna do your own makeup?
Yeah.
You do my makeup?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, Shayna.
Hey, John, is that on?
Sure is.
That's a good question.
See the blinking red light?
Can I say that, John?
Is that,
John, is that, no. Turn
Okay,
that
how
off.
you make
No,
that.
is that on? Is that on?
is that really on?
I don't care how you make that.
You don't? I mean,
Take
you
into
don't have
account.
any preconceived notions of my character?
Artsy filmmaker.
No, you just really. You just have to overdo it a little bit so it looks like
Okay,
ordinary
but-
makeup on the stage.
You don't, I mean, what I'm asking is, do you think that I'm
You realize we're not gonna
Can I have some pizza?
And here it comes.
Is there any more of that?
Any minute now, the man of the hour.
You realize we're not going to have a final dress run here.
None of this is gonna be audible, gang. We gotta
Hey,
fucking
shut up!
back.
Shut up!
Do you realize we're not going to have a final dress run through? Go away! And Susanna didn't know to shave, by the way. What? Are you gonna shave, by the way? Shave what?
What happens when Chandler gets back?
my only symbolism of manliness? Not quite. Not the general. I think the whole effect is pretty valid. Idiot.
If you want me to,
Eating still.
The cameraman with pizza on his shoe.
We are taking over this film. Mustafa! We are taking over!
Shut up, Paul. What? Because none of us are having a final dress, because they're not even blacking out in between the scenes, because no one understands how their set works. And we haven't even finished putting up the flat.
Almost done eating.
I know it's not braced, it'll fall over unless it is.
Follow me. Follow me.
Norris fans.
Right this way.
But I wouldn't give.
Let me just show you.
This is a Spinal Tap.
Just a little more. Just a little more. What's your step now? Sorry.
Music.
No, you have to follow me. I want to show you something in the boys' bathroom.
Not me. Ooh, I wouldn't go in there in a million years.
Here, lean this door for a little bit. Lean this door, please.
It's nasty.
1 year later, after God, the same hollowed hall.
Come on. Into the boys' bathroom, that wretched hive of scum and villainy. Read that. Focus on that. That right there. Yes.
Ooh,
That's funny.
Does it smell?
That's funny.
Read it.
Advice, please, help. My girlfriend's got AIDS, but the irresistible bod. What'll I do? I'm fucked up. Please, if you have any better ideas than shooting her or leaving her at 10 p.m. at East 14th Street in East Oakland.
We're out of there.
Bro, here. Follow me. No, don't. Come on. Got my big yellow bag. Oh, my costume's in the car. Oh, let's go back there.
Cut.
See, I got peas all over my face. Hi, Susanna. Fuck up, it can't be all that bad.
Is it?
Thanks. No.
25 kilograms?
I'll play the boy.
Yeah.
I can do Dummy Jackson. I can learn those lines.
What's the problem?
And I can drive that car.
Ken will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, but stop it.
Daniel Smith Rousey, Julian Poirier, Peter Bailey, Hell. That's right. There's the devil waving in her green checker shirt. There's Issa, looking very embarrassed, feeling really bad. Oh, Hell.
Hell has its children too.
Children of Geppetto.
Hey, do people in hell really need? Forget it.
He's not on. Wait.
Jules!
He's not on. Wait. He's not on.
Manischewitz! Ah!
Is that thing on?
I don't think he's on.
It's my tape.
I don't think he's on, man.
Can I bring this into the room?
No.
Lie.
Lie. Lie. Robin
And
Leach.
now snakes on shrooms.
Walk. 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 He killed capitalist pig.
If I was with her too
He's a Jew,
long,
he's a Jew.
I had done something wrong. Maybe she'd tell me what it is, I'd run in. Hi!
You see what I found in his pocket? Manischewitz. Boom, boom, boom. I'm medical Jew.
You see what I found in his pocket? Give all of it.
I am Jesus. I know, I am Jewish, just like Jesus Christ. I'm Jesus too.
And Jesus
So
is like Jesus Christ.
wait, hold film for a second. I got to do the Delta Force. Okay, get me in focus. Use this. Use this.
Use what?
Eric Byrne.
Damn.
Quick, Jacques, open the door. He's escaping.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dad? Oh shit.
Dad? Oh shit.
Dad? Oh Sheila.
Oh shit. Let's film.
Dad, oh shit.
Oh no! Don't slam his hand in there. Ow!
Actual injury.
Oh, boy, I hurt his head.
I see how it
You
works.
did at that.
Andy, what is the line? The line? that
Brave
made me
mommy.
laugh.
Which one?
Brave mommy.
The one that made me laugh the other night.
Oh, thank you.
On Dan. Into the bullpen. Where's Eric? Eric! It's a shitty hammer. Blackout.
You feel like one while we wait?
Dr. Linfield said not too much hooch. But you go ahead if you want to.
Oh, I won't drink alone. I'll be here in a minute.
They're always late.
Not always. You know, a funny thing happened to me today.
Hmm.
I was giving Stan Sinclair a ride home, and he was telling me about his snakes. Anyhow, while Bobby was away at camp, Stan was supposed to take care of his snakes, and 2 of them died. Anyhow, I told him about the snakes I had when I was Bobby's age.
What snakes?
A whole zoo of them out in cages out by the garage. Told him the kinds I had and how crazy I was about them and the books I read. And then after a couple of years, I just lost interest. But for a while, I was nuts about snakes and got to be quite an expert. But then, after dropping Stan off, I got to thinking about it, and I couldn't remember whether it was true.
Whether what was true?
Whether I had all the snakes. I mean, I read the books and I studied all about snakes. But all those cages and all those snakes, I can't be sure whether I really did it.
You mean you don't remember?
Nope. And when Stan mentioned Bobby's snakes, I remembered my snakes just as clear as could be. But then I got to thinking about it, and I couldn't remember whether or not I kept snakes or just wanted to. I can remember drawing the plans for the cages, up on 2x4 logs on hinges out behind the back wall of the garage. And they had a screen wire across the front. I can remember catching one snake definitely. It was a hognose snake, the kind they call a puff adder, but actually it isn't poisonous. But a boy in the country catches a lot of snakes, or kills them, or just sees them. I can't remember what I did with them. Whether I put them with the rest of the snakes in my collection, or just let them go because I didn't have any collection.
How old were you?
12 or 13, isn't that the strangest thing?
Oh, I don't think it's so strange.
Why not?
It's obviously very Freudian. A boy, just at puberty, getting all mad about snakes. Now you've repressed it.
I know a lot of kids go crazy for snakes at a certain age, just like a lot of high school girls get into horses. I think I ought to be able to remember whether I did something.
Most people's memories of their childhood are all mixed up with fantasy.
I wasn't a child, I was 13 or so.
But you don't remember exactly how old.
It was quite a while ago. Over 20 years. Sure you won't have one?
Positive, but you go ahead. Did your father help you?
Help me what?
Build the snake cages, if any.
Of course not.
Why, of course.
My father was a farmer. He didn't have time to piddle around. Anyhow, a farmer's kid doesn't need any help building a snake cage.
Do you remember if you ever showed the snakes to your father?
Of course I did. I mean, he couldn't have missed them. It would have been right under his nose. Look how he brought it up, because I thought it was kind of amazing how I could have this memory, then not remember whether it was true.
And I just suggested there was a logical explanation.
Namely?
That it was this adolescent sexual thing, with your rivalry with your father and puberty and so forth, and as a result of the violent emotions associated with it, you've repressed the whole thing.
You mean I did keep snakes, and now I'm trying to forget that I kept
It
snakes?
doesn't make any difference whether or not you really had the snakes. Feelings were guilty and violent, and now you've blotted them out.
What do you mean it doesn't make any difference? It makes a hell of a lot of difference.
See what difference it makes to you now whether or not you had some snakes when you were 12 years old.
Look, I'd just like to know. That's them, I'll get it.
Oh.
How are you?
Hi, Alex. How you
Darling!
doing?
Oh, you look just darling, but I thought you'd be wearing a maternity
Oh, I
dress.
know I should, but I'm only a month and a half pregnant.
Oh, you're just putting this on. All you got's a little gas. Are you trying to get ahead of me?
Oh, I need one. Come on in, everybody, and sit.
Maybe Gordon would know about the snakes, Alex.
I don't think so. Gordon's, what, 8 years older than I am now?
Well, I'm 41 now. What's this about snakes?
Just something I'm trying to remember about down home when I was 12 or 13.
About snakes?
Alex can't remember whether or not he had pet snakes.
Well, everybody had pet snakes one time or another. No olive for me.
It wasn't just a pet snake. I think I had a whole collection of them.
You think so? Don't you remember?
That's what's bothering me. I seem to remember, and then again I don't.
Do you remember them, Gordon?
Well, I wasn't out at Alex's place much after his brother went to college. That's when it would have been, if you were 12.
Yeah, it was after that, I'm sure.
Funny how every boy goes through a phase of snake worship.
I think it's sweet.
You remember that year at camp? At Boy Scout camp, the year you were a counselor? You were always fooling around with snakes in the nature hut.
That's right. Ralph Stonecipher was nature study counselor. He taught a course in reptile study. I took the course and then I'd help him with the snakes.
That's right. Ralph Stonecipher.
He was my first big hero.
You were Ralph! At hijinks!
That's right. The last study at camp, we had hijinks, and there were competitions and flag races and that sort of thing. And that night there was a kind of a show where the campers made fun of the counselors. And anyhow, the camper took the counselor's place at the head of the table, and the counselor was the table waiter. Anyhow, I got elected Ralph Stonecipher, my greatest thrill. Former star quarterback of our high school. He was quarterbacking Stanford, an all-around great guy. Never did figure out how I got elected that way.
Well, you were a very popular camper, Alex. Besides, for the last 2 weeks at camp, you were practically Ralph's shadow.
Oh, brother. And you wonder why you can't remember.
Thank you, Dr. Floyd.
Oh, darling, it's just perfect. Snakes, puberty, latent homosexuality.
Woo!
No, I didn't mean to give the wrong impression. Alex was one of the cleanest-minded kids we had in camp. Well, he wasn't prissy or anything, but some of those little bastards. Ooh.
Exactly. The dirty-minded ones didn't need snakes.
As a matter of fact, every detail of that summer is perfectly clear in my mind. Latent homosexuality and all.
You mean?
I had a kid's crush on Ralph Stonecipher, hero worship. So did every boy in town. Likewise, every girl. The boys, I guess that was latent homosexuality. And the girls, I guess that was latent heterosexuality.
Maybe the snakes at camp are the ones you remember.
I don't think so. They were in partitions with glass in the front. Mine were in cages with screened wire across the front.
You probably got the idea at camp.
Yeah, that's where my interest in snakes started, I'm sure. I must have built my cages that fall.
I can't understand you when you say you aren't sure.
It's just at first I have a very clear memory of the whole thing, and then all of a sudden I doubt my own memory.
It seems to me that if you doubt it, then it isn't a memory. Well, you can't say that you properly remember something if you don't know. You see what I mean? Well, I'm getting myself all confused, but I think what I'm trying to say is true.
When you figure out what you're trying to say, let us know. Make a good martini, Alex. Nothing like a martini to calm me down and put me at peace with the world.
Gordon? Well, what was the name of that woman who lived out on Church Road? You know with the Swedish name?
Swedish name? No.
She had a Boston Bulldog named something funny.
Mrs. Newbold!
That's it!
Bulldog, Mrs. Newbold?
That was the woman's name.
Newbold isn't a Swedish name.
I didn't say it was.
When I was a kid, I can remember Mrs. Newbold complaining to my father about me carrying around snakes in a bag. Anyhow, one day I took it over to show some of the rest of the kids, and she asked me what was in the bag, and I showed her, and she had a fit.
You can't remember her name.
I can now. I remember it perfectly. It just escaped me for a minute.
All the way to Sweden? You'd better mix another batch. We can't eat for at least 15 minutes.
When I was a kid, I thought Newbold was a foreign name, and from somewhere I got the idea that it was Swedish, God knows why. Look, I brought it up because I remembered it in connection with the snakes, and I thought it might help me clear this out in my mind.
If you keep on free associating about snakes, you may find out a great deal about your libido, but isn't that a little lurid for a company?
Listen, you two, this is the silliest thing to argue about that I ever heard of. What the hell difference does it make whether Alex had a snake zoo?
Oh, we're far past that. The argument now is that whether or not I had snakes is not the argument. Scooper is only interested in my subconscious.
Why?
Because it's full of snakes and crawly things.
Everybody's subconscious is. Well, that's the whole part about subconscious is.
I would simply like to know whether I did or did not own several pens of snakes.
Why don't you pour those things before the ice gets them all watery?
I'm going to call Mildred.
You what?
I'm going to call Mildred. She'll remember.
Oh, God, Alex.
It's bothering me. Why shouldn't I settle it with a 50-cent
The
phone
horses
call?
is going to think you're out of your mind.
She's thought that for years. Yeah, I'd like to make a person-to-person call to Mrs. Darden Holloway in Fort Valley. Darden, H as in hopeless, Olloway. No, I don't have the number.
He has the number written down, but he always makes them look it up because he's too lazy.
I beg your pardon. I make them look it up because I hate the phone company. Yes? Okay. Would you give it to me? I have a pen. Okay. Oh, you went a little bit too fast. Could you repeat that a little bit slower? 8, 1, 6, 4, 4, 3, 8. 8? All right, thank you. Yeah. Try again in 20 minutes. No. Thank you. Yeah, bye. No answer.
Do you remember the one about the Chinaman who dreamed he was a butterfly? And when he woke up, he went crazy because he couldn't figure out whether he was a Chinaman who dreamed he was a butterfly or a butterfly who was dreaming he was a Chinaman.
No! Tell it to us!
Exactly. But you began by saying what was true, and so you knew what was going on. If I didn't keep snakes, then it would be interesting that I thought that I did. And if I did keep snakes, then it would mean something that I doubt that I did. But it doesn't mean anything until I know the facts.
I don't see what it would mean either way, except you're getting middle-aged.
Darling, couldn't we forget about this? You can call Mildred tomorrow and put your mind at rest.
You don't have to humor me. I'm not jumping the rails. But I will if I have to worry about this a moment longer.
Well, I don't think you did.
Why not?
Because I've known you for years. You aren't the type.
What type?
The type to keep snakes. Oh, I'm sure you wanted to, and got real interested and read up on snakes and all that. But you just aren't the sort of person to get really carried away. I bet you never kept a stamp collection either.
I started one.
Did you keep it up?
Well, no.
That's what I mean, Alex. You just aren't one of these people who does things like that. But you just aren't.
That was 10 years before you ever met me.
People don't change that much. Not in 100 years. I know just the kind of little boy you were.
I'm with Scooper. Why don't we just forget about this? It's the silliest thing to argue about that I ever heard of.
Gordon, what was the name of that fat boy who had the fight with Tom Boyd out at the swimming pool that day? You know the boy, I mean, he was ahead of me in school, his daddy was a lawyer.
That boy?
Bingo Sparks! That's it, he was Gordon Mildred. He practically lived at our house during high school.
Now what?
Yeah, he lives down here in town now, some insurance company. You remember his first name?
Well, I never knew he had one except for bingo.
Yeah, there are about 20 Sparkses here.
Call them all. Ask them all if they remember your snakes.
Clarence Sparks, that sounds
If
right.
my name was Clarence, I'd have them call me bingo.
Hello, yes, excuse me, Mr. Sparks? Is this the Clarence Sparks that comes from Fort Bragg? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry to bother you. No, bye-bye. Wrong fellow.
Darling, everyone is getting very tired of this. Couldn't we forget it?
Arthur W., that's it, that's bingo! Arthur W. Sparks. Hello? Bingo? Yeah, hi, this is Alex Pringle. Right. Yeah, I got something I want to ask you. You remember when you were out at our place a lot and you were courting my sister? Yeah, right. Well, what I want to know is, when you were out there, were there a lot of snakes and pens out by the garage? Uh-huh. Okay, yeah. Are you sure? Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Bingo. Yeah, we'll have to do that. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you a lot, Bingo. Bye-bye. Okie doke. That takes care of that. Now we can drop the subject.
Well,
Well, what?
what did he say?
What difference does it make? You said yourself that the fact of whether or not I kept snakes was irrelevant. You know all about the symbolisms and the repressions and the latent homosexuality. Why worry about a few lousy
Oh,
snakes?
Alex, really?
That's not fair.
But Amy, you know I didn't keep any snakes. You said so not 5 minutes ago.
I said you weren't the type, and I still say so.
Oh, no.
You just don't want to admit I was right.
No. You don't trick me into telling you anything. You all insisted that the truth of the case didn't matter.
Now that is a damn crummy trick.
What does it matter to anyone but me?
Let's just ignore him. Within 5 minutes, he'll be jumping out of his skin to tell us.
Ignore him? Let's beat his brains out!
My, what a respect for the facts we're all developing.
Well, sure. You get us all head up about this, and now we're entitled to know the answer.
Well, I'll tell you. He said,
Fair tomorrow and early Sunday out with the greasy cloudiness Sunday noon and possible showers Sunday night.
and I forgot what he said would be the high temperature Sunday. What? I couldn't remember Bingo's first name, so I dialed the weather report to prove that the true fact does matter, and every one of you bit.
Oh, you dreadful creep. What a horrid thing to do.
Maybe I didn't do it. Huh? Maybe I did talk to Bingo and just made up that other story to keep from having to tell you what he said. What about that?
Well, did you or didn't you?
Talk to Bingo? Who knows?
He didn't. Or he'd be telling us what Bingo said.
Because that's the kind of fellow I am, right? Amy doesn't need facts, she's got intuition. Of course, Gordon, there is a way you can find out for yourself. You can call Arthur W. Sparks, find out if he's Bingo, find out if I called him, and find out if I kept snakes.
I'll do that
Oh,
thing.
Gordon!
At least there's an Arthur W. Sparks here. Hello, Bingo. This is Gordon McCall. Gordon McCall from Fort Valley, remember? Say, Bingo, I've got kind of a funny question to ask you. Did Alex Pringle call you a few minutes ago? He did. He did. No, it's no kind of gag, Bingo. It's just kind of like this game we were playing. See, Alex was telling us about his past and his daddy's house and how he used to keep these snakes behind his daddy's garage. Except he couldn't remember whether or not he actually kept them, and so he called you to find out. No, I'm not pulling your leg, Bingo. It's just this game we're playing. You know how you get started on these things. Yeah. I was just wondering if you could tell me just what you told Alex about the snakes. I see. Yes. Well, thank you, Bingo. Thanks a lot. Sure, we'll have to do that. Yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Bingo. Goodbye.
Gordon, before you say a word, let me ask you if you think these women are entitled to know what you and I now know.
That's a thought.
Or you could lie.
That is a possibility.
Gordon, if you don't tell me what Bingo said, I will pull out what little hair you got left!
He couldn't remember.
Don't believe him, Amy.
Alex, unless you stop this nonsense, I'm gonna call Bingo.
That's what I want you to do! Show a little bit more interest in my life and less in my subconscious. Facts, indeed.
Gordon, did he really say he couldn't remember?
Well, that's right.
It's perfectly simple, Amy. Is Gordon the type of man who would lie about something like this, or isn't he? You've known him even longer than you've known me.
Yes. But he also knows what I'd expect him to do. And he might do just the opposite. Mr. Sparks? Mr. Sparks, you don't know me, but my husband comes from the same town you do. His name is Gordon McCall. Yes, I know he did. That's why I'm calling you. He won't tell me what you said, and he called you up and asked what he did to settle a bet, and he claims you couldn't remember, but I think he's just trying to get out of paying off his bet. So I wondered if you would mind repeating to me what you told him and what you told Alex Pringle about the snakes? well, I really am. Yes, I know it must seem puzzling, Mr. Sparks, and I hate to bother you, but it isn't any practical joke or anything. Yes, just whether or not Alex Pringle had a lot of snakes behind his garage when he was little. Oh. I see. Well, thank you, Mr. Sparks. Oh. Nothing behind Alex's garage but a woodpile.
What? Bingo remembered the whole thing. The pens, the snakes, everything.
Bingo could remember a thing either way.
No, snakes.
Snakes? Who knows?
I think you're all behaving very childishly.
Possibly Bingo was pulling all our legs. Or we're all pulling yours. Maybe everybody dialed the weather report, honey.
He really did say no scooper.
I believe you, Amy.
But you don't. No! After all, Amy had already said she was sure I didn't have snakes, and she could be sure whatever she said, and the Gordon and I were denied it just to tease you! And she certainly knew that you wouldn't call him!
Mr. Sparks? Mr. Sparks, this is Alex Pringle's wife. No, I am terribly sorry, Mr. Sparks, but it really isn't a practical joke. You see, Alex and I have company, and the whole crowd of them have been teasing me about not believing Alex had these snakes when he was a boy. Now they've absolutely forced me to call you up. Oh, I know what a bother it must be, and I hope I didn't interrupt your dinner. Well, I wondered if you'd mind telling me what you told them, and then it'll be over. Honestly, Mr. Sparks, there are only the four of us here, and now you've talked to everybody, so this is absolutely the last call. Yes, I promise you. Oh? Well, thank you, Mr. Sparks, and I'm sorry I had to bother you. Good night. Oh. I don't think we better call Mr. Sparks anymore. Honestly, I never felt like such a fool in my life. I could strangle you, Alex, for starting.
Well, now we all know the truth. The truth.
Just a minute. Amy, what did Bingo Sparks tell you?
Oh, wait a minute. That's not the way to do it, because then I can double-cross Amy, and Alex can double-cross me. Just hold it. We'll use this, and we'll vote, like a secret ballot, alone. We just write down snakes or no snakes. Go, Alex, Scooper, Amy. You got a pen, Alex?
This is silly. Why can't
He's right, Amy. This is the only way. Okay? Gordon, here you go. You read them, one at a time, and let everybody see each one.
That's when. Snakes. 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 And snakes. Well, that's a relief.
To truth.
To truth.
To truth. To snakes.
To Bingo Sparks.
To Bingo. You know, it'd feel a lot easier in my mind if I didn't seem to remember that Bingo had the reputation of being the biggest, slickest, meanest, coolest liar in court.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm only kidding. You'd better be. A perfectly honest man, old Bingo, as far as I can remember.
Your memory. Oh, and speaking of memory, I'd better get that roast out of the oven.
I'll give you a hand, Scooper.
We eat in 5 minutes.
Oh, wash.
Old Bingo. Hello? Yeah, I'd like to make a person-to-person call to Mrs. Darden Holloway in Fort Valley. D-A-R-D-E-N. H as in hopeless, O-L-L-O-W-A-Y. No, I do not know the number. Hello? Mildred? Oh, God, thank God I got you. You just come in? Yeah, this is Alex. I got something I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Snakes!
Hey, Satan! Take a bow, you son.
I'll run through the water slide.
There's our curtain.
Take bows.
Captured forever.
I'd like to thank Peter
I'd
Foley.
like to thank Satan!
Satan! All right, I thought that was
You have a
beautiful.
problem?
Now,
Say,
here's the
need
problem.
drinks?
Drinks. What's the matter? Drinks.
I did.
What'd you do?
I threw all that water in my face because I thought it was empty.
Why do you think it was empty?
Because there wasn't anything on the top. It was
I don't know. What kind of martini would that be?
Aaron, Shayna.
I thought you knew more about
Hey, I'd like to thank Peter Foley for my Oscar award.
I'd like to thank Satan. I'd like to thank Mustafa.
Help so we can get everything put away.
Wait, you got John. Film this. Snakes. Snakes.
Stop. Gather round, you Greeks. Gather round, you Greeks.
And we need them all. We need all 6 out here.
True grit.
I'd like to know.
Couple of Joes. Ben and John, a nice Joe.
Isa, Rachel, get over
Yes. Keep filling drinks throughout the play.
Hi,
If you want
Ma.
guidelines, I can give you than that.
Stop. It's really making me self-conscious. So why am I standing in front of it? I'm standing here in front of it, talking about how it's making me self-conscious, and I'm still standing in front of it, which means I must always have wanted. What am I?
An immense
You were the
talent.
apotheosis of Alex, and you were the ultimate Gordon, and you were a super scooper, and you were.
I don't know, John. I thought we were pretty good, don't you?
I think we did a damn
I
good
think
job.
we were so good. We were so awesome. We were so great.
I thought it was spectacular, and I'm surprised I had the sense to cast you. Now,
No, Devin, do the thing.
my quibbles. Gordon, your eye was a counselor.
No,
You know all these things. They're not even problems. Lisa, you can cut down your time on subconscious as a little bit. It's getting a little gross. Okay, it's still incredibly funny. You can maximize it.